started working for my dad. I kind of learned the ropes, and then I helped my dad expand my dad's company, from say like 100 people to like 700. And then we kind of expanded and started working on housing projects, and I got a little bit overwhelmed by it. And by the time I was done, the infrastructure of the office couldn't handle that many people, and I just kind of lost it. And I took the company down with me. I ended up very sick. And in 2017, 18, I was like 80 pounds rocking in the corner. Pretty much had a nervous breakdown. Kind of lost everything and took everybody with me. So I ended up...
I'm sorry to cut you off. When you say tore down the company and took it with you, what are we talking about? Like, I know you mentioned to me the size and the scale, so I think that's important to mention here, because it wasn't just like a little rinky-dink operation with 3 people and you folded it up. It was a massive...
The work we were doing on the outside got done beautifully. So everything that we were contracted for, but I wasn't there at the end to kind of tie it all together to progress to new work. And so our insurance kept going up, but somewhere in the idea of me running all that, I kind of bottomed out. So where you would have continued that momentum and kept going with like where you peak and you just scale, I scaled but without support. And I would say more in my office. So we stopped doing more work. So once those contracts were over, I wasn't signing new ones because I really was barely like in my own head.
Gotcha.
You know, like I was kind of just tapped out. So we finished all the contracts, but I wasn't out there hungry and scaled, and I didn't have help scaling. And so we just started crumbling. So what I mean by crumbling is I scaled the company, the expenses, and the amount of insurance we were paying. And then I didn't have the contracts to move to. So where all of that kind of topped out, and then we weren't signed for the other contracts.
So you had to just...
So it started started slowing down, and then slowed to the point where there was not that much work coming in. And so we started just really slowing down profit-wise, momentum, and everything just kind of got sticky. And I mean, I take the blame, but it was just, we were all together, but I really just kind of lost it. And then in 2018 or 19, I got divorced, and I kind of got out of that and like woke up.
It sounds like you had a full restart.
Yeah,
at that point, where you're just like, all right, that was the bottom.
That was the bottom.
Here we
are. That was the bottom. I was 80 pounds. I pretty much was not there mentally or physically.
What kind of effect, like, how do you go from whatever you were to 80 pounds? And like, are people in your life telling you that there's a problem here? Or is it just something you had to realize?
Everybody in my life knew it was a problem. And it was just, I was just on a slope going down, you know? And it was just, there was no waking me up. I guess I was tunnel vision, and I literally tapped out of my head. So like I was not processing things. So I went to work every day, but I wasn't capable of processing what was going on around me. So even if they were telling me, I wasn't there to process it.
Right.
And so in that world, I kind of just checked out. And then when I was getting divorced, I woke up. And so then I was like, okay, I'll be present for the people in my life. I can't redo anything when I wasn't mentally there, but I can be present and just show up every day and kind of do what I can with what I have today. And then it was, okay, eat, get healthier, and just not be a mess. And so it was just getting healthier mentally and physically.
Is that your approach still now? Like just being present and doing what you can on the day?
That is my goal.
That's your goal.
To stay present, not get lost in the small things or the big things.
What takes you away from that presence? Because that's something that I'm really focusing on myself right now, and it's conversations that I'm having with Dan, who you just met the like
That's a great question.
distraction in this world, the phones that are in our pockets and in front of us at all times, the being available for clients. It's something that like I struggle with. You know, I have a 1-year-old daughter, and like one of the things that I did last week actually was like I scheduled out my whole week and I just stuck to that. And when I was on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I need to be home at 4:00 to pick her up. Like when I was home, I wasn't looking at my phone. I was sure a couple times I picked it up, but I caught myself and I was very, I guess, focused on that goal of like being present during that time. How'd you figure that out?
Build habits. It's what you just said. It's really a habit. And when you get a habit of putting your phone down, give or take an emergency, nothing's an emergency.
Yes.
Right? The only thing that's an emergency is your time with your daughter, unless someone is hurt or something's. Because if you react to everything as if it's an emergency, then you're so anxious that you can't process everything at that level.
Yeah.
You know, so if you build a habit where you have a routine, but you put into the routine the most important things in your life, right? Sleep, food, and family.
Mm-hmm.
And then self-care, health. So, and I would say probably health and sleep is first. Because if you're not taking care of yourself, then you can't be present, you can't make money or be a dad or a husband, right?
Yeah.
So the first thing you do is take care of yourself, and you make a map, you make a plan, and then you build the habits for that plan. And then there's no altering that plan. The first thing that comes is your health, and then your love, right? Or you know, and then you make what is the most priority in your life a habit that can't be broken, right? And when we lean into habits, we tend to pick bad ones, you know, and if we pick better habits, then we have better lives. And if we pick the wrong habits, then we don't have a good life.
Yeah.
And that is, by the way, that's just the gym conversation, right? You don't, like, you see the person who's in good shape and you're like, oh, I wish I could do that. And you're like, the guy's like, no, I go to the gym every day.
Mm-hmm.
There isn't a time where I don't go to the gym.
Yeah. Are you willing to do the actions to become the person?
Any person that is successful at any level has those habits. And so you pick and choose your battles. But the most important thing is your health and your family.
Mm-hmm.
That's your non-negotiable between you and yourself.
Yeah, it's funny you said like the only emergency is that like time with your daughter. I have a new group of friends who also have young kids, right? We met them because they have young kids, and they've never seen me like angry. I'm relatively even keel. I have a temper for sure that many people don't see or get to see. I get set off every once in a while, but just in general, I like to hold myself in that way that like I don't really get too angry and nothing is really an emergency. And
unless someone goes after that said daughter.
Right. And so, but even the other day, so 2 weekends ago, we take my daughter to this like gym class every Sunday, and we got there early, so we had extra time. And I was like, there's a coffee shop down the block. I'm just going to go grab a coffee. And I walked into this coffee shop that will remain anonymous because I do not like them anymore. And they just like wasted my morning. The gym class is only 45 minutes long. And I only had stopped in this place to kill 5 minutes, grab a quick cappuccino, and then go to this class. And I wound up missing 15 minutes of that class because they were understaffed and they served 5 people who walked in after me before they made me my simple drink, right? And it got to me. Like, I was really upset. But I wasn't upset because, like, Jody walked in and got her coffee before me. I was upset because I was missing the class. And I walked in, and our friends were all there, and they were like, are you all right? Steve, you look flustered. And I was like, I'm pissed off right now.
Just wanted a cup of coffee.
Like, I'm missing this. This is why I'm here. And I only stopped there because I had so much time. And, like, I was really upset in that moment that, like, those 45 minutes were altered.
So if you dissect that and you talk about priorities,
yeah,
you sacrificed the class for that cup of coffee.
Yeah, and which is like, I should have just walked out.
You should have just walked out. Like, had that. So exactly, because that went into your habit. Like, Same thing with the phone. Like, okay, I have it on for emergencies, but I do leave my phone in another room. Look, if it's raining out and I know people are going to call me for emergencies and I'm available, but give or take, I can walk away from my phone very happily. You know, and when I'm meditating or stretching or working out, I am in another zone. You know, I don't want to disturb that peace. So
Present.
you went for a peaceful thing,
Yeah.
and then it disrupted your peace. The minute your peace is disrupted, you negotiate that, right? Okay, I'll give it 2 minutes. If in 2 minutes it is, and then you say to them, hey, I have to go. I have 2 minutes, or you just sacrifice it. I'm not willing to sacrifice my daughter time for a cup of coffee.
Yeah.
And then, by the way, you would be less mad. Because
Oh,
you were like,
certainly.
I'll go in later and maybe get my money back or whatever, but I'm not
Yeah, I was
sacrificing that
probably
moment.
more mad at myself for waiting.
Sacrificing it for waiting. And again, so those are the habits.